Om Namah Shivaya. Let us bow to the Eternal One, the destroyer of ignorance, the cosmic dancer whose very breath creates and destroys universes. Lord Shiva stands beyond form yet manifests in countless forms. He is the ascetic meditating in the Himalayas. He is the householder dancing with Parvati. He is the fierce Rudra whose third eye burns away illusion. Shiva represents the ultimate reality that lies beyond our dualities, beyond creation and destruction, beyond good and evil, beyond even existence and non-existence. When we chant His name, we invoke that which is eternally auspicious, that which transforms poison into nectar, that which dances in the cremation ground to remind us that death is just another form of life. Tonight we enter the most thunderous hymn ever composed in Sanskrit literature, the Shiva Tandav Stotram. This is not merely a prayer. This is a cosmic symphony, a hymn born from the deepest agony and the highest devotion. The composer was no ordinary devotee. He was Ravana, the ten-headed demon king of Lanka. The same Ravana who would later abduct Sita and face Rama's wrath. But long before that cosmic drama, Ravana was something else entirely. He was a scholar, a master of the Vedas, a devotee of Shiva so profound that his very name means one who makes others cry, and indeed, his devotion made even the gods weep with wonder. Listen now to how this earth-shaking hymn came to be. Ravana had conquered the three worlds. His power was unmatched. His knowledge was vast. But there remained one mountain he could not conquer. Mount Kailash, the eternal abode of Shiva, the axis around which the universe turns. Driven by pride and perhaps by a deeper longing to meet his beloved deity, Ravana decided to uproot Kailash itself. He placed his 20 mighty arms beneath the mountain. His muscles strained. The earth trembled. The mountain began to lift. But Shiva merely pressed down with his big toe. The mountain crashed back down. Ravana's arms were crushed beneath its weight. The pain was beyond description. For 1,000 years, he remained trapped. His screams echoed through all the realms. But in that agony, something beautiful was born. Ravana began to sing. Not cries of pain, but verses of pure devotion. Each word was forged in the fire of suffering. Each rhythm matched the cosmic dance of Shiva himself. The hymn that poured from his lips was so magnificent that it stopped time itself. Shiva was moved. How could he not be? Here was devotion purified by pain, pride transformed into surrender. The demon king was singing the very essence of divine dance. Pleased beyond measure, Shiva lifted the mountain. He appeared before Ravana. He granted him immense power. He gave him the magical veena whose strings were made from Shiva's own nerves. But more than power, Shiva gave him something precious. He gave him the recognition that even in his demonic nature, the spark of devotion burned bright. Now let us hear these thunderous verses. Feel how each one builds like storm clouds gathering for the cosmic dance.
जट्टावी गाला जजला प्रवाहा पवितास्थले गलव गल जजला ललामलया लज्जमे धीमिद धीमिद धिमिंज्वनिटैट्रुमैकुका स्फुरद दूचद स्पत्सर व्यासनतान्वे ओम जय जय हे महेश जय जय हे महेश नमामि शंकर शंभु उमाप्ति महादेव.
The very first verse crashes upon us like a waterfall. From the tangled locks of his hair flows the sacred Ganga. Picture this cosmic scene. Shiva's matted hair rises like dark mountain peaks. From these peaks, the holy river cascades. Not just water, but liquid light. Liquid time. Liquid consciousness itself. The sacred Ganga does not merely flow from Shiva's hair. She was caught there when she fell from heaven. Her force would have shattered the earth. So Shiva cushioned her fall in his locks. There she remains, flowing eternally, purifying all who touch her waters. When Ravana sings of this, he sees the cosmic form. Shiva's hair becomes the night sky itself. Each strand holds galaxies. The Ganga becomes the Milky Way flowing through the cosmos. The verse continues with rhythmic power. Dhime dhime dhiminjva. These are not mere words. They are the sound of Shiva's Damru drum, the drum that beats the rhythm of creation. With each beat, atoms dance into existence. With each pause, worlds dissolve back into silence.
अहरात्र निराट साविद्ल हास्य प्रकंपिता शैलेंद्र विग्रहास्य नागेंद्र द्युतघंटा भजतरुचिः स्फरिटापुरभज कल्पना प्रभाव ओम जय जय हे महेश जय जय हे महेश नमामि शंकर शंभु उमाप्ति महादेव.
Here Ravana paints Shiva as the eternal dancer. Day and night are just the opening and closing of his cosmic eyes. When Shiva dances, mountains quake. The Himalayas themselves tremble with divine rhythm. See the image Ravana creates. Shiva's body moves in perfect time. Around his neck, the great serpent Vasuki calls like a sacred thread. This is no ordinary snake. Vasuki represents time itself. Called around Shiva's throat, time becomes an ornament. Death becomes a decoration. The serpent also represents Kundalini energy, the sleeping power that lies coiled within every soul. When awakened, it rises like Vasuki around Shiva's neck. It transforms poison into Amrita, fear into fearlessness. Kings and gods wear gold around their necks. Shiva wears eternity itself.
धारा धरेंद्र नंदिनी विलसा बंधुरे शिवे शिवप्रिया शरीरिणी गंगे परमा पावनी पाप विमोचिनी वैदिका वर्णिनी विख्याते रेंज. ओम जय जय हे महेश जय जय हे महेश नमामि शंकर शंभु उमाप्ति महादेव.
Now Ravana turns his attention to the Ganga with deeper devotion. She is not just water flowing from Shiva's hair. She is the daughter of the mountain king Himalaya. She is the playful one who chose to make her home in Shiva's locks. When we call her Parama Pavni, we speak of her supreme purifying power. She cleanses not just the body, but the soul itself. Every sin, every sorrow, every karmic burden dissolves in her sacred flow. Ravana knew this power personally. As a demon king, he carried the weight of countless dark deeds. Yet in his devotion to Shiva, he found purification. The same Ganga that flows from Shiva's hair can wash clean even the darkest soul. She is Vedika Varnini, the one praised in all the Vedas. Every sacred text sings her glory. Not because she is separate from Shiva, but because she is his very grace made manifest as flowing water.
ललता चत्वारा शताब्दी तमाशे शिवप्रिया शंकरावलभे शिवे त्रिलोचना विषय विभूषिते कराला महाकाला को माला भावे. ओम जय जय हे महेश जय जय हे महेश नमामि शंकर शंभु उमाप्ति महादेव.
Here comes the most striking image of all. Shiva's third eye blazing on his forehead like a second sun. This is not the eye that sees forms and colors. This is the eye that sees truth itself. When this eye opens fully, the universe dissolves. Not in destruction, but in recognition. All separation revealed as illusion. All fear burned away in the fire of pure awareness. Ravana calls this eye Trilochana Vishe, the poison-decorated third eye. This refers to the great myth of the churning of the ocean. When gods and demons churned the cosmic sea, the first thing that emerged was Halala poison. Poison so deadly it could destroy all creation. No one could touch it. No one but Shiva. He drank it willingly to save the universe. The poison turned his throat blue. He became Nilkant, the blue-throated one. Yet even this poison became an ornament. Even death became a decoration for the deathless one. When we see Shiva's blue throat, we remember this sacrifice. We remember that the divine takes our poison and transforms it into beauty.
कैरेट कैरेट गजजत गजजत घंटे परमेशना तांडव रंगंते उद्यत उद्यात ऊर्ध्वा मामुद्दन मामदेवा कोमलकांति संते ओम जय जय हे महेश जय जय हे महेश नमामि शंकर शंभु उमाप्ति महादेव.
The rhythm intensifies. Karat karat gajjat gajjat. These sounds echo the bells and drums of Shiva's cosmic dance. Each step shakes the 14 worlds. Each gesture writes the laws of physics across the sky. This is the Tandav, the dance of divine bliss. Shiva dances not because he needs to. He dances because dance is the very nature of consciousness itself. Pure awareness expressing itself through perfect movement. In this verse, Ravana captures something beautiful. Even in the midst of the most powerful dance in creation, Shiva remains Komlakanti Sante, gentle, beautiful, peaceful. The cosmic dancer is also the eternal meditator. The destroyer is also the most compassionate. This is the mystery that Ravana grasped. True power is not harsh. True strength is not violent. The one who can destroy everything chooses instead to dance. The one who holds death in his palm offers only blessings.
पुष्पदांता नम देहेशय रघु नंदना कृष्ण दशरथीरिय शिवप्रिया शंकरा शंभु त्रिलोचना महादेव भक्त वात्सला करुणा घाना ओम जय जय हे महेश जय जय हे महेश नमामि शंकर शंभु उमाप्ति महादेव.
In this verse, Ravana shows us something profound about devotion. He weaves together multiple divine forms. Shiva the cosmic dancer, Krishna the beloved flute player, Rama the righteous prince. All are faces of the same eternal truth. This is not confusion. This is wisdom. The devotee sees that all divine forms are rays of the same sun. All sacred names are syllables of the same cosmic sound. When Ravana calls Shiva, Bhaktvatsala, lover of devotees, he speaks from experience. Here he was, a demon king. By all accounts, he should be Shiva's enemy. Yet Shiva saw past the demonic form to the devotion within. Shiva granted him boons. Shiva blessed him with divine music. This is the miracle of grace. It sees not what we appear to be, but what we truly are. Beneath every demon lies a devotee. Beneath every sinner lies a saint. Beneath every form lies the same formless awareness. As this thunderous hymn reaches its crescendo, we see why it moves Shiva himself. This is not mere poetry. This is the very sound of the universe recognizing its own source. This is creation singing to its creator. Ravana composed these verses while crushed beneath Mount Kailash. His body was broken, but his spirit soared. In that moment of complete surrender, he became a perfect instrument for divine expression. The ego that had tried to uproot Kailash was dissolved. What remained was pure devotion set to cosmic rhythm. Devotees traditionally recite this stotram during Mahashivratri. They chant it in the deep hours of night when the veil between worlds grows thin. The words are said to grant the same power that Shiva granted to Ravana. Not the power to conquer, but the power to surrender. Not the power to possess, but the power to love without condition. When you chant these verses, let them move through you like the Ganga flowing from Shiva's hair. Let each dhimit dhimit become the beating of your own heart in rhythm with the cosmic dance. Let each Om Jai Jai He Mahesh become a wave of recognition washing through your being. The beauty of this hymn lies not just in its poetry, but in its origin. It teaches us that our greatest devotion often emerges from our deepest challenges. Our most beautiful prayers are often born from our darkest nights. Like Ravana beneath the mountain, we may find that when everything else is stripped away, only love remains. The demon king who tried to uproot Shiva's mountain ended up composing the most magnificent hymn to Shiva ever written. The ego that sought to conquer became the heart that surrendered. The voice that had roared with pride now sang with the sweetness of absolute devotion. This is the alchemy that Shiva offers to every soul. Bring him your poison, and he will drink it. Bring him your pride, and he will transform it into prayer. Bring him your very worst, and he will reveal your very best. May Lord Shiva, the auspicious one, the destroyer of ignorance, bless you with inner peace, fearlessness, and liberation.